Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shifu here, and if you follow me on Instagram, and actually if you don't, you might as well, alright? I'm at the Credit Shifu on Instagram. But anyway, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen recently I posted about Lyft working with Hilton, so you can now earn 3x Hilton points per dollar on riding with Lyft if you link your account, so your Hilton Honors account with your Lyft account. Some people replied to me saying, oh, the Hilton Honors card already earns 3x, so what's the difference? Actually, I want to clear that up. It's actually not the credit card, it's that you link your Hilton Honors account. So you do not need the Hilton Honors credit card for that. You can earn 3x points on Lyft rides. And then if you use the Hilton Honors credit card to pay, presumably you'll be getting 3x from the credit card as well, okay? Because it earns 3x on regular spending. So in total, you're going to be getting 6x, 6 points per dollar, 3 points for having the credit card and 3 points for being a Hilton Honors member, okay? So just to clear that up for everyone. But anyway, it got me thinking that I've never done a video on just kind of like comparing the 3 Hilton Honors cards and, you know, asking the question, which one is right for who? So that's what we're going to do today, all right? We're going to compare the 3 Hilton Honors cards from American Express and the 3 personal ones. We won't touch the business one today, and just asking the question, which card is right for who? So let's start off with the Hilton Honors Amex. So this card earns a sign-up bonus of 75,000 Hilton points for $1,000 spending in the first 3 months. Now, Hilton points are valued at about half a cent a piece, so between 0.45 and about 0.6 cents. That valuation is, I would say that's pretty accurate in my experience. And so 75,000 Hilton points, that could get you basically probably about 3 nights at the sort of lowest level Hilton hotels like Hampton Inn, etc. Not in New York City, but like out in the countryside, you know, 20, 30,000 points a night. Or just 1 night at the sort of like highest level, or just almost 1 night at the highest level, sort of Millennium Hilton in New York City, Manhattan or whatever, that kind of thing. So 3 low-level nights or just 1 sort of high-level night, to give you an idea of what the sign-up bonus is worth. So let's now have a look at the point earning on this card. So it earns 7 points per dollar for spending at Hilton's, for, you know, staying at Hilton's, whatever charges made at a Hilton, which is great. It earns 5 points per dollar for spending in the following bonus categories: supermarkets, gas stations, and restaurants in the US only. So yeah, limited to just US supermarkets, gas stations, and restaurants. Not too great for traveling abroad. And then it earns 3x, like we've said, 3 points per dollar on all other purchases. This card has no annual fee, and it gives you Hilton Silver status, which isn't really that useful, so we won't really talk about that. I mean, in theory, it gets you a few little benefits, but it's nothing really major. And so who would I say that this card would be good for? Well, I have called this card in the past a suburban dad card, all right, or suburban mom card. Basically for someone who lives in the suburbs, drives a car, shops at a supermarket to feed their family, and occasionally goes out to restaurants, okay? Those are big categories of spending for people living out in the suburbs. You know, they spend a lot on gas, they spend a lot on, supermarket spending, that kind of stuff. So this is great for those kind of people, and not necessarily a card for someone who is a, you know, regular business traveler or regular luxury traveler or whatever. This is more of a kind of down-to-earth family kind of card, all right? Next up, we have the Hilton Ascend card. Now, the sign-up bonus on this card is 125,000 Hilton points for $2,000 in spending in the first 3 months. So it's a significantly higher sign-up bonus. You could probably get 2 nights at a sort of reasonably high-class Hilton for that, you know, that amount of points. We also have some higher point earnings. So for spending at Hilton's, you actually earn a whopping 12 points per dollar. So that's almost double what the just basic card earns, okay? 12 points per dollar versus 7. And then for the supermarkets, gas stations, and restaurants in the US category, they bump that up by 1 point per dollar. So it's 6 points per dollar instead of 5 on the other card, and then just 3x on everything else. This card comes with a $95 annual fee, so you're kind of moving up. This is what I call a tier 3 card in the sort of Hilton, you know, my credit card tier system. The starter card, the starter Hilton card would be a tier 2 card. So $95 annual fee, but you do get complimentary Hilton Gold status, which actually is quite a big benefit that shouldn't be overlooked because, well, it can get you room upgrades, but it's nothing major with the room upgrades. Normally it's just sort of 1 level, it's a slightly nicer room. You're not going to get like a suite or anything unless there's other factors involved. But the big benefit is that it gives you free breakfast at many Hilton properties, okay? Not all Hilton properties. Some it's like for the Beverly Hilton, for example, you get free continental breakfast and you pay about $10 per person to upgrade to the regular breakfast. But at DoubleTree's, for example, you get free breakfast. And at one I stayed in recently, the breakfast would have cost $14.99 per person, and you're gonna get free breakfast for whoever's in your room. So if it's 2 people sharing, that's a saving of $30 per day. So I actually saved a huge amount of money. I think last year or something, it was about $260 I saved by just having gold status from the Hilton Ascend card, which is great. And there are several, there are other Hilton chains where you will get free breakfast because of having gold status that would otherwise cost you, okay? So that's a great benefit of gold. Also, with gold status, you can match it, you can status match with, for example, National Car Rental. You can get their highest National Car Rental executive, whatever status, I can't remember the name, but you can get their highest status basically just by status matching from Hilton Gold. So Hilton Gold status is pretty useful. And with this card also you get a free weekend night after spending $15,000 in a year, all right? And the Hilton free weekend night is pretty useful because it's not limited to any kind of tier of property. The restriction on it really is that you can't use it on weekdays, well, Monday to Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday counts as a weekend night. And basically you can use it at any property. There are a few exceptions which they call like distinctive properties, okay? So some resorts you can't use it at, but I think there's like 30 something exemptions, and all the Hampton Inns in China are exempt as well. But other than that, you can use it at a huge amount of properties, including some really, really classy ones. So it is a very valuable benefit. So if you spend 15 grand, you'll get that. And this card, who is it good for? Well, I would still say that this is kind of a suburban mom, dad kind of card, all right? Because the earning categories, it is, the gas, restaurants, and supermarkets. They're great categories for those kind of people with families living in the suburbs. We're not really into kind of like luxury travel territory yet, so it's still going to be people who are staying, I would say, in the lower kind of level Hiltons, because the free breakfast, that's a great benefit, especially if you're going to Hilton like Garden Inn, Hampton Inn, actually not Hampton Inn, but DoubleTree as well, like in smaller towns and stuff, you get free breakfast. So I would still say we're in the kind of suburban mom dad range with this card. And now we're going to go to the Hilton Aspire card. Okay, so this is the highest card on the sort of credit card ladder of Hilton cards, and obviously it's called Aspire, it's what you aspire to. And let's have a look at this card. So you get a sign-up bonus of 150,000 points for $4,000 in spending in the first 3 months. So you can already see this card is aimed at higher spenders. That spending requirement is quite high. Some people might not be able to quite meet that, or might have to use, some other methods like making extra purchases and stuff in order to meet that. There's always a way to do it, but it might require some thought if you don't have that monthly spending. And so yeah, so this is definitely a large sign-up bonus if you're looking for a sign-up bonus. Let's have a look at the point earnings. So it earns a whopping 14x, 14 points per dollar at Hilton properties, which is a huge amount of points. That's really, really high. The 14x comes from any charge at a Hilton, room service as well, whatever. And then let's have a look at the categories for this, because it's actually different. It's not the same set of categories as the other cards. So you get 7 points per dollar on flights booked either directly through airlines or through Amex Travel, because this is an Amex card. You also get 7 points per dollar at car rental when it's booked directly through the car rental company. And you get 7 points per dollar at US restaurants. Okay, so the last one, the restaurants, is limited to US, but the other two, it could be car rental in whatever country you're in, or a flight, booked in, whatever, as long as it's directly through the airline or through Amex Travel. So we can see by those categories that they're already aiming it at sort of a different type of person, okay? It's more like a business or luxury traveler. The annual fee on this card is $450, but it comes with a lot of extra benefits. So you get Hilton Diamond status, which is the highest status. So you're going to be guaranteed like getting upgrades when they're available. You get parking right by the door at many Hilton properties. It's the highest status, okay? I'll put some of the other benefits up on screen. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but you also get a load of credits as well that you can use to offset that $450 annual fee. So you get a Hilton Resort credit, and that's, you get this $250 resort credit that can be used for charges at, participating Hilton resorts, okay? So it's resorts only, all right? It's not just regular Hilton hotels. It has to be a resort to use this, all right? You get a $250 airline fee credit, which is basically the same as the airline fee credit on the Amex Platinum, the Amex Gold, and it's for incidental fees. It's not actually for tickets. I've got other videos talking about that, so I won't go into super much detail on that. And then you also get a $100 property credit for Waldorf Astoria and Conrad, which covers charges when you stay a minimum of 2 nights. So it's $100 that you can use to cover room service or whatever charges, spa treatments, etc. But you do have to stay a minimum of 2 nights, and that's $100 a year you get. This card also gets a free weekend night every year. There's no spending requirement for it, you just get it. And that is, actually it starts after you've got the card. So you don't have to wait to renew it. You get a free weekend night every year. And in addition to that, you can earn an extra free weekend night if you spend $60,000 on the card in 12 months. That's quite a high spending requirement, but that benefit is there. So who would I say that this card is aimed at? Well, this card, it's definitely aimed at either business travelers or luxury travelers, okay? Sort of people who go on luxury vacations. Oh, and another benefit of this card is it gives you priority pass, okay? But you know, most premium cards give you priority pass. So there's nothing really to write home about. But when we look at the sort of resort credit, the Conrad and Waldorf Astoria credit, we're looking at people who, and the airline credit, we're looking at people who regularly travel by air. Maybe they are family travelers, so they're going on family vacations to resorts, okay? Resorts are great. You know, I've stayed at a resort, you know, earlier this year, the Hyatt Resort in Cancun. You can bring your kids. There's normally water parks, beaches, and that kind of stuff. So for people who are single or people who have very young children, this probably wouldn't be that appropriate because you're not, you know, your kids aren't at that sort of level yet. You could go as a romantic getaway to a resort, but a lot of these resorts are really geared towards families. So, you know, you can kind of weigh it up. You can get an idea sort of who this card might be good for, okay? So it's either going to be good for people who go to resorts. It's going to be good for people who travel by air a lot because they get, you know, particularly US domestic, because it's US domestic where you really encounter those incidental fees, like for baggage fees or whatever, right? Generally in international flights, baggage is going to be included. And so, yeah, you're talking much more about the serious traveler. In the credit card industry, we say travel hacker, people who are really into like getting points and miles and stuff. But there is a lot of value that you can get back on this card through all the, you know, the credits and stuff. And on top of that, you get a free weekend night, which could be worth up to like, you know, $400, $500, depending on how you use it, if you use it in a really smart way. So you could be talking about like $1,150 in value. That's just a figure off the top of my head, okay? Don't go and quote me on that, but over $1,000 in value just through the free night and all the credits that you get on this card. So it is pretty amazing for people who are really into luxury travel and business travel and stuff like that. So that's kind of the separation. This high-level card, it's really aimed at frequent travelers. The other two cards, it's more like, I would say you get a lot of value out of it just being a sort of suburban dad or mom, general family spending, supermarkets, etc. It's a great everyday card. So guys, that's my little sort of breakdown of the Hilton cards. I will put the link to the Ascend card and the basic Hilton card in the links below. As always, these are affiliate links. They help out our show. So if you do use them, you are kind of helping us out. And if you want to see the advertiser disclosure, as always, I will put that at the bottom of the description. And what is this noise that is happening outside the window? I swear there is like a cement mixer truck right outside. Okay, and that's my cue to end it. So thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new, give this video a like, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.